One day, there was a riot in the prison.
Free all the prisoners!
The excited prisoners were known to be extremely violent criminals. They even released their prisoners from solitary confinement. And thanks to this, even Chris was free.
There is no compromise. You must meet all of our demands.
The prisoners became more violent. They say they have human rights and they want to improve the treatment of prison life. They even took the guards as hostages and demanded lower sentences. Several of the officers have already been sacrificed. The prisoners had to prove that this was not a joke. The SWAT team was deployed to the scene, but their efforts had no effect. Eventually, the officers decided to suppress the vicious prisoners on a large scale. But there were some prisoners and a lot of guards who were vulnerable, so the police hesitated to make any decisions because of the possibility of casualties.
We can't accept everything they ask for. The longer they drag this on, the more people are in danger. We need to get them to the negotiating table. First, we have to block food and drinking water. If there's anything they need, they'll ask for a conversation first.
The food was no longer sent in, and there wasn't much food left on the inside. But they didn't hear anything from the prison for days. Even though they tried to make contact, the prison was silent. Only the occasional gunshots and screams could be heard. Perhaps there was an internal conflict.
That's weird. Why isn't there a response? Let's send a scouting party in.
The news of the reconnaissance team was shocking.
There's no one inside the prison. Not one. Nobody. I think they escaped.
They found a wall on one side of the prison that had collapsed. It was clear that all the prisoners had fled through this hole. The police were caught off guard. All the notorious prisoners were gone. Only a large amount of blood was found in the prison. It must have been from the internal strife, but not one body could be seen. Soon, there was a massive search. All the troops were dispatched, desperately searching for traces of prisoners. It was impossible for all of the escapees to hide. They searched everywhere, far and wide, on a large scale, but they couldn't find any of the prisoners. There was no way the military and police would be able to find anybody. In fact, the number of escapees was just one.
Meat, 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 meat! Oh, I'm hungry! Meat!
Everyone in the prison was already in Chris's stomach.
Meat, 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 meat! Meat's so good!
Chris had been running in the woods, which was known to have bears. The bear that Chris had run into.
Meat, 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 meat!
The bear that he found.
Meat, 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 meat!
The bear.
Meat, 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 meat! Meat, 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 meat. 마법나바람을 따신 영광 다 되고 가리